guys, welcome to Clockwork and Noodles for another breakdown of the Apothecary Diaries, episode number 5. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's getting so cold out there. I hope you're wrapping up and looking after yourselves. We are now 1 week away from my midway reviews. In that video, I'm crowning my top 3 OPs, EDs, and current standing of animes, and I can't wait to touch base with you guys. It feels like it's been a very long season, and I really can't wait just to get some of my thoughts on certain animes out there, and it just gives me a chance to catch up on you guys, because when we're doing videos like this on the channel, we often get separated. Not everyone's watching the same shows, so it's a nice chance to come together and get the whole noodle bowl back together again. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. Very shortly, I am going to start looking at next season just to get a little heads up on what I'm going to be doing next season. I hope you guys are enjoying the content going out. We are doing 4 videos at the moment, but it's only possible because we have got a bit of help on that 4th video, and it really does mean a lot to me to be able to give you guys better quality stuff. So I am always aiming to improve my work. This week's question is simply just going to be a nice little easy one. What was your first pet? My first pet that I officially owned was a hamster called Pop-Tart. She was a Syrian hamster. She was awesome. I was quite a young kid, so I didn't really understand animals too much, but she was definitely my first pet. She left a mark on me because she actually died on Halloween. Close to the date, it's like the 4th right now. I have now got my cat and 2 rabbits, but at one point I had 8 rats. Rats are just amazing pets, but they just don't live long enough, so I'm taking a break from the rats. Right now I've just got my cat and 2 Netherland Dwarf bunnies. They are awesome. Let me know in the comments below what you guys have and what your first pets were and what you have currently. Be nice just to break the ice, because I'm really enjoying asking questions and interacting with you guys. Let's get to the episode, because it's an episode of 2 halves. There's a lot going on, so it does start in a general happy manner with a comic aspect. We've got Genjis actually bringing our first animated fight sequence to the show, which is really nice. It's animated, it's nice flow to it. There's a lot of very nice lighting. It is really nicely handled. There's a bit of nice body going on. I mean, cough. He is a very good looking character. Everyone is a good looking character. The show is so nicely detailed. All of the characters look beautiful. Even during this episode where everybody is dressing up, everybody looked good. I couldn't just pick a side and say one person in particular looked really good. Everybody looked really nice, and I love the way that they really brought out the very best of everybody this week with how everyone dressed up. Malu is bringing her best as well, and I absolutely love the hunting sequence where she is just getting excited over the mushrooms. It does appear she's out of the palace. She does say people are going to ask where I found them. I presume she's out of the palace because I don't recall the palace having any green spaces, but I haven't actually been to the Forbidden Palace in China. Someone in the comments has been, so you'll have to let me know, is there a garden perhaps? From what I'm seeing, it looks like she's outside of the palace where she shouldn't be. I love the dappled light. There's so much beautiful details. Everything is so vivid. The colours in this anime are just beautiful. Normally I have to pump up the colours for my thumbnails. In this anime, I don't have to do that. The thumbnails are absolutely fine. I just balanced them a little bit. The colour palette is just rich and beautiful. Now, Xian, I think her name is our source of knowledge and gossip, and I love that because she's still that friend, the first friend that Malu actually had in the court. She brings her food to her. Obviously she's getting fed a lot of food right now, but she brings her food and still shares and talks with her despite the fact that she is slightly higher in standing. She doesn't forget where she came from. She doesn't forget her friend, and it's nice because we also get to gossip and we get to keep up to date with all the information that's going on, because Malu wouldn't really go after it. She doesn't care for gossip. It wouldn't be something that we would be privy to if it wasn't for that character. So that character is keeping us up to date what's going on in the palace, who's using an aphrodisiac, is it really linked, is it the same aphrodisiac that we had before. She has an inkling, but I don't think she's right with the inkling. Episode is making the foodie within me very, very happy. It's making me want dim sum. The best dim sum I've ever had was in Chinatown in London at a place called the Golden Dragon. On one of the main streets in Chinatown, it's opposite the bakery. The bakery is absolutely amazing as well. Best place I've ever had dim sum. I really want to go back at some point and do it again. I've learnt the trick with the soup dumpling where you're meant to bite it, pour it into your spoon thing, and then eat the stuff afterwards. The foodie in me is just happy. This show has got so many good aspects. If you're into makeup, it's got makeup. If you're into romance, it's got that, but it's not the main thing, but it's there. Medicine, well, I am happy anyway. If you're into food, this anime has got you as well, and I love the fact that we get to see the dumplings. We also get to see them cooking the mushrooms over the coal fire with just the simple toppings of the salt and the paste. Everything is making me hungry. Jinshi actually says I prefer them in boiled, essentially. It's that question of would you prefer your mushroom boiled or fried? I've had boiled mushrooms, but I don't recall having proper fried mushrooms. I wouldn't mind trying it, so I actually might be on Team Mau Mau on this one because I think the fried one looked a lot better. I can imagine boiling them, they're just gonna lose their flavour. I think they're gonna lose that specialness. They're gonna be soggy. Seeing them eating it and discussing it was a very nice one for me as well. The curse seems to be dealt with really quick. It's literally done within about a minute. Also seems like it's just the tip of the iceberg. The guy who ended up throwing things away because he was trash collecting and burning, he ends up interacting with these objects. It would seem that these objects are actually linked to something going on which is darker. I've got a lot more theories this week because a lot more is starting to come out. And I'm starting to think that Genjis, there's more to him. I would say as well, when Genjis is still asking questions about things, and a bit later on you do see somebody in the shadows with the wooden sticks. Something is going on, but because I don't fully know my culture or Chinese law or anything, I'm not recognizing things as quick as I would if it was Japanese. If it was a Japanese talisman or something, I would be, oh yeah, that's a talisman. Somebody's doing a curse. I don't quite recognize what's going on, but I know something is still going on undercover. So the guy with the burnt hands is actually just a cover for the proper plot that's going on. So I might have finally got my wish to have a plot that's dragging on a little bit longer than one episode because it's not done. There's a bit later on where you see somebody with bandages and they've got their arms covered. So somebody is behind that. It's nice to see we're finally getting plots dragging on a bit more. This is what I want. I want the pace to slow down just a little bit. Now, the new outfits is just a beautiful chance to see the fabrics, see how gorgeous the fashion of the time was. Mau Mau getting a new outfit is just amazing. I love seeing her dressed up. I love seeing a different side to her. We also get to learn about the hierarchy within the palace, that the emperor is not yet married. He hasn't taken a queen consort just yet. Gonna focus on how beautiful everybody looks. Everybody's colours look amazing. I love the fact that everybody's got their own colour. You've got the pinks and you've got the blues. My favourite colour is blue, so I'm actually on, I think her name is Liwa. Love those colours. I think her ladies in waiting looked absolutely gorgeous. That colour scheme is beautiful. The purple was really nice as well. Reds are nice, but they just don't suit me. So she's lucky that she doesn't have me as a lady in waiting because I'd let the side down. The dresses are absolutely beautiful, and it really is just a chance to see our girl dressed up. They're rubbing her face with the steam towel and they're like, are you... And then it cuts and I'm like, oh no, it's getting real. The show is really starting to get a hold of me. And I'm really hyped every time these episodes come out. I think this show is starting to creep up my list. Is it possible this show's going to take the crown for the season? There's a lot more going on that meets the eye. There's so much going on during this section. The section where she is modifying the costumes to put pockets in. Welcome to my cosplay world, Mau Mau. This is what I literally do. I try to make pockets in everything so I can store things. It's also a little concerning that the seamstress within the palace can't sew pockets. They're not difficult. You can do really simple ones or you can do it the proper way. I've made 6 pockets for the current costume I'm making right now. Nice to see a different aspect of palace life. There's so many different aspects. The anime is littered with details. You could probably watch it a few times, pick up on different things. The music is something I really want to talk about again because I think it might have Kevin Penkin's name written all over it. I love Kevin Penkin. His work is absolutely astounding. His talent is making worlds come to life via music. His work on Made in Abyss is probably his best work. Tower of God is beautiful. I haven't heard enough, but season 2 is coming out. The music during this section is absolutely just stunning. There's something about the music, it's haunting. There's so many rich instruments that I don't recognize because they are traditional Chinese instruments. They sound amazing. Shivers down the spine because it really sets the tone. It's those moments where I go, oh yeah, this is China. They are still speaking in Japanese. With this show, it's in Japanese, it's been handled by a Japanese studio, but every so often there's something that will remind me this is a Chinese source. Naturally, if I'm watching a Chinese anime, they're often in Chinese, and that will always have that reminder that this is the language that we're speaking. Music also is a language. Hearing the music at 2 points in particular in the show, it literally had my attention. This point when we're seeing how gorgeous everybody is, we're seeing the reveal of the headdresses, the flowers, they're rich, they're beautiful, the details. I really want to cosplay from this. I'm going to hold out that Mau Mau is going to get an insane costume at some point. It will be Mau Mau, but I don't know what I'm going to do with her just yet. I just want to hold out that at some point she's going to look absolutely stunning. She looks gorgeous this episode. I'm waiting for that full level up. The bit now we're going to talk about is the freckles. Initially, I did feel very sad because I knew that freckles aren't considered beautiful in China. They're hit and miss in the UK too. There's been a resurge lately of people wanting to do fake freckles. You can actually buy the spray to do fake freckles. I honestly think freckles are pretty. I think they're very cute. Most cultures think they're cute nowadays, but back in the day, people just didn't like them because it's an impurity on the skin, apparently. Momo looked absolutely gorgeous with them. I think she looks outstanding without them. Obviously, my jaw was on the floor when I learnt that the freckles were fake. At that point, I was too busy going, oh my god, they're fake. And then I was taken aback by Genjis' actual reaction to how beautiful she looks. He forgets to be mischievous. He forgets to be sarcastic. He's just taken away by how she looks. And I think everybody today in the audience is going to be like, damn, she looks absolutely stunning. She's leveled up. She looks gorgeous. It's a beautiful transformation, but it's almost backwards. Transformation back to herself because, as she says, I've taken the makeup off. The freckles are fake. I add them in because I want to appear not desirable. And that's when the episode, this is the second half now, it gets real. That's when you start realising that as colourful as this anime is, it's hiding a darkness. The symbology of the sandal crushing the flowers is the metaphor that innocence is just taken just like that and people don't care. Almost a daily occurrence that women know that if I make myself look more or less desirable, I could be safer. Perhaps where my attention was at the max because we're dealing with something very, very serious. And I think it's the first time as well we see Jinshi being serious. This is the scene as well. Some of his reactions are a little bit sus. I get the feeling that he's more important than we're letting on. I know he is head of the court. He is the emperor's favourite, but there's just something to his reactions. It might just be that he genuinely feels bad because he feels bad for not policing everything, but if you're just in charge of the court or you're the emperor's favourite, it isn't your fault. So it's this reaction where he says, do you feel angry about it? And I'm sorry. And Mao too, like me, is like, I'm very confused right now. It's not like it's your fault because that's how she reacts. But it's the lingering on his face. He doesn't cheer up. He doesn't smile. He still stays really solemn. And I don't know. I could be onto something. Maybe I'm not onto something. I just feel like he's hiding something and I don't know what it is. Everyone's got a secret, right? Maybe he's more important. Maybe he's not. We've seen the Emperor, so he's definitely not royalty unless he is royalty and we're hiding it. But people would know. There's just a lot going on. The music at this point is the second point in the episode where it's special. It sounds like Kevin Penkin. What is he hiding? I want to know what he's so worked up about. He feels... I initially thought the hairpin thing was him feeling bad. Now, it seems like he's sad over her getting kidnapped. He then gives her the pin. Now, I know there's two meanings. The first meaning from what I read, if I just read it off the bat from the situation, I feel bad. Here's a hairpin. It's my protection. People will see this hairpin and no one's going to fuck with you because you're wearing my mark. That is initially what I read because I presumed it was him feeling bad. Here's protection because I feel somewhat to blame over what happened to you. But then I did do a little bit of quick research into what hairpins mean because I had a feeling I knew what it meant, but I didn't want to give you false information by getting it wrong. So I did have to quickly double check. But from what I can see, the act of a man giving a hairpin is a big deal. From what I can see, it's a promise of love. I don't know if that's quite the case because he might have feelings for her, but she definitely doesn't seem to have feelings for him. I see it as protection, him feeling guilty about something and giving her the pin. It seems to be suggested that it's a lot more of a big deal in China where it would be tradition for a man to give a hairpin to his girlfriend, somebody who he loves, a exchange of love. It's a big deal. I would also say with the reaction of her master, I'm not going to say that name, guys. The pink-haired concubine again is sadly, because her name is very confusing. She's the hardest one so far. I've actually got picked up other people's names, just not hers. Her reaction is, you are no longer solely mine. And that's where I'm like, wait, he's shown interest in her in a romantic sense, right? Because you're not just the master of her anymore because he's almost staked to claim literally. That's the end sequence. It made my heart race a little bit. It was a very exciting episode. There was a lot going on, but it was very serious. The tone shifts were up and down. The music was absolutely stunning. This anime is just giving me everything I want. I'm so happy that it's doing well on the channel. You guys love the show. I love the show and I really can't wait to see where we go. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. Let me know down below what your first pet was and I will see you guys again for another episode. Bye guys.